guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is all about advice to first-time job seekers, part-time work, or internships. If you are brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue, I'm a medical coder. Okay guys, so first of all, I'm just gonna say this first, my advice. This is just my advice that I'm giving all of you for free, okay? Take it or leave it. If it doesn't line up with what you think or what you've been told, that is totally fine. But I'm giving you my advice as somebody who is a neutral party. I don't have anything to sell you when it comes to programs, okay? Nothing to sell you when it comes to programs. And I'm not trying to push an agenda. I'm trying to get all of you that are watching this video today to see that there are some things that just don't make sense, okay? And so that's what I'm going to talk about right now. So here we go. All right, with that out of the way, I will say this. People will ask me about working internships. Blue, everybody wants experience, but how am I supposed to get experience if no one will hire me? Should I just volunteer as a medical coder? Now, you have to keep this in mind. A lot of times these volunteer positions or these internships, externships, they are going to be partnerships with a school. So when it's a partnership with the school, they're really kind of showing you around the office. They're not really exposing you a lot of times to like the medical records, because keep in mind, it's a HIPAA thing too. So they have to keep all of this information protected. So that's a big part of it. And if the school already has a partnership with the employer, then that's going to be settled that way. So you can't just walk in off the street and say, hey, I want to volunteer in medical records, or I want to volunteer as a medical coder and I'll work for free. I never recommend working for free, because you have gone through a school, and if you've had to pay out of pocket for this schooling, you know, it's just not worth it. And even if you've gone through a program and the program paid for your school, now you're paying with time, and time is very precious. So for me, I'm not going to want to waste my time where I'm working for free when there are plenty of other things that I can get into as a brand new medical coder to be able to start gaining experience. Now, if you are looking and applying everywhere with a very good resume, that resume needs to be solid. If your resume is not good, meaning that it is over 2 pages, okay? Ideally it's on 1 page, but it can be up to 2 pages. If your resume is longer than that, that's a no-go. If your resume talks about your job history longer than 10 or 15 years ago, you're saying that you're working in the early 2000s or in the 90s, no. Some in the 80s, no. Don't do it. You want the last 10 to 15 years on your resume. And that's what you're going to be working with, because they don't need to know your work history is as long, okay? They don't need to focus on the detail of how long you've been in the workforce, okay? They need to focus on the skills that you do have and what you are coming in with. So make sure that you're arming yourself with a very good resume. My channel is full of shows that talk about resume tips for brand new medical coders. Do not ask me, please guys, don't ask me, where are they? Let your fingers do the walking, Medical Coding with Blue, and you'll see resume tips. And you'll see all the videos come up. It's about doing your research, guys. On your resume, you need to address the things that you were taught, and you don't have to qualify it with advanced medical terminology, knowledge of ICD-10, CM. You don't have to do that. You just go straight to the point. ICD-10, CM, CPT, HCPCS, medical terminology, anatomy, pathophysiology. Get right to the point. Don't qualify it. Because if I'm a hiring manager, I want you to get right to the point. I don't want you to dress it up and flower it up, because these are your skills. And if your skills say organized, team player, that would be a no-go for me too, because you're not talking about your hard skills. ICD-10, CM, CPT, and HCPCS, and all your medical terminology, all that, those are your hard skills. That organized team player, that's a soft skill. And don't try to dress it up with organized team player, timely, all that. No, guys, that's not a skill that should be on your hard skills list, okay? That's something that you can address on your cover letter, that you are, you know, all of those things, because that's not on your resume. But I will say this, guys, That resume's got to be like the thing that gets their attention. And if you say, well, Blue, I'm not good at writing resumes and blah, 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 you know, look for a resume book that can help you. I do write resumes. However, my calendar is currently booked and my next available date won't be until April the 9th, 2023. So if you are interested in booking, then my contact information is in the description box below, guys. So get yourself a really good resume and arm yourself with that. Then check out my other video where I talk about the jobs to apply for, okay? So that you're not wasting your time with an internship that you may or may not get gained skill. Because sometimes with these internships, all you're doing is maybe copying papers or filing or, you know, doing other things around like that are administrative duties. A lot of times when I talk to other students, they weren't even coding. So you're basically wasting your time, and time is precious. You have to hit the ground running as soon as you get your certification. Okay, guys, get registered with a temp agency. And this is another thing that gets me too, is that a lot of people will argue with me about going to a temp agency because they can't do that. But yet you'll want to go to an unpaid internship. Again, it doesn't make sense, because at least with the temp agency, it's not just you out there looking for a job for yourself, but you have somebody else out there actively looking for a job for you, okay? Because the temp agency's job is to make money. Same thing with you. Your job is to make money. And when you have two people and if you're making money, then the temp agency's making money and everybody's happy. So get registered with a temp agency. You Google in your area, again, don't ask me, guys. Google temporary agencies for medical professionals, and you will see all the temp agencies that are going to apply to that, right? And this is not manpower, it's not day labor, it's not any of those things. Medical coding, when you're typically applying for those types of positions, they're going to be like for a little bit of a time, okay? Like a month, you know, few months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. You know, it's however long they need you. And sometimes it's going to be for a contract too. So that's another thing that is always going to be an option. But get yourself registered with a temp agency and get away from trying to get volunteer positions, because nobody needs to get your skills for free. Nobody. And these employers will try. They will try. Because, I mean, it's free labor. Okay, this person is educated, and well, maybe we'll go ahead and give this person a try, and maybe we'll start them at this rate or whatever. Guys, don't do it. Don't be taken advantage of because you think that that's what you need to do. Apply for these jobs that are asking for 3 to 5 years of experience. Get yourself registered with the temp agency and stop only focusing on the remote positions, because that's what a lot of people are out there saying too. I want to work remote. I want to work remote. When you're a brand new medical coder, it's going to be hard. Now, before the pandemic, if you didn't have 3 to 5 years of experience, you were not even getting a second look. Since the pandemic, yes, people have been working at home. However, I will never recommend that for a brand new medical coder, because you will be losing out on that precious beginning medical coder time when you could be around other medical coders who will mentor you. Okay, now book coding and real world coding are two different things, and you're going to learn that really quick on the outside. And even if you just spend a little bit of time at a place where you have to physically go just to be around people so that you can learn a little bit more, it's going to set you up for success, and then you can go home and work from home. Okay, but when you fixate on only want to work from home, only want to work from home, that's the problem right there. So that's the thing, guys. You want to set yourselves up for success, especially when you're looking for a job. Now, again, getting a good resume and getting out there and applying for these jobs, even though they're asking for 3 to 5 years of experience, okay? Do that. Don't only apply for the remote positions, guys, because if they would have their would-ruthers, these employers are going to take people who have experience over people who do not have experience, all right? So that's just something that you all ought to know. And yeah, your friend may have been able to get a job at home. Maybe they're doing risk adjustment coding at home. I tell you guys again and again, risk adjustment is a temporary stop. It really should be a temporary stop, because you are only doing diagnosis coding with risk adjustment coding. This can stunt your growth. And a lot of times employers, I've seen it because I do my research. I've seen it. When I've looked at these, when I looked at these job listings, and I've seen them say that if your only experience has been with risk adjustment, they do not consider that as a work experience because you're only coding for diagnoses. So again, don't be scared and don't only apply for just places like that. Now, if risk adjustment is the first place you can get into, then by all means go ahead, but still continue to apply at other places. That's going to give you that broad range of experience, guys. The jobs are out there. And you have to make sure that you're using different words too, like health information tech, medical records tech, medical coder, health information management, that kind of thing, because those are all those really weird words, denials, associated, and all those kinds of things, because they call medical coders different names. So you're going to have to look at the job listing itself to make sure that it aligns with what you've been trained in, okay? And so that's the thing that you got to know there. The other thing is this. People are talking about, I want to work part-time. When it comes to brand new medical coders, part-time work is typically, okay? Now, I don't know every employer in the world, but typically it is for people who have experience. Because if you don't have experience and you're working in a part-time position, right? This employer knows that they're going to have to train you as far as like getting used to the system and that kind of thing. So they're going to get about a quarter of the work out of you because that's just the way that it is. It takes time to build up when it comes to speed wise, when it comes to, coding all these records and things like that. It takes time to build up speed, and time these employers don't have. So if you're also fixated in your brand new medical coder, you're fixated on these part-time work positions, guys, it's not, you can't have it your way. It's not Burger King. You can't have it your way, okay? Again, those are typically for people who have experience. Now, you don't want to work part-time because you're going to need full-time in order to really understand what you're doing and really get immersed in the culture of being a medical coder, because it takes a lot, guys. This is not a one and done and like you get your certification and then you're just ready to go. No, it's going to take continuing education. That first year is going to be a lot of changes and it's going to be difficult, and then it's going to be really exciting and exhilarating because there's going to be times when you're going to get something and something is like, the light bulb is going to go on, and then it's going to be so easy for you because you're going to start catching on. But you're not going to get there if you're not proactively getting out there and looking for a job, okay? And if you have all of these demands up front, again, you're going to be looking for an even longer time. And it does not matter why you want certain things. And some things it may, make your life easier, and I understand that. And maybe you might find an employer who will be understanding of that. But it really all depends on the employer. And it depends on how you do when they give you a test. Because they may be willing to give you, they may be willing to give you a test, an assessment test, to see where you are as far as your skill level. That's why they give them to us. And a lot of people get upset about having to take these tests. Oh, it's so much time, and it's 30 minutes, or it's 2 hours, or it's 4 hours. They have to, and they're investing in you by hiring you. So they need to make sure that you understand and you comprehend, because there's a lot of fast-paced medical coding schools out there that push these credentials, and they do the little shortcuts and how to crack the exam crap, okay? They do that. Then they get these coders out there in the real world that are ill-prepared. So that employer is going to make sure before they hire you on that you really do understand what you're doing. That's why they give you those tests. So complaining about tests and, it's 30 minutes, or it's 2 hours, it's 4 hours. Guys, I mean, this is what you're signing up for. Literally what you're signing up for. So you don't want to make it known, especially if you're on LinkedIn. Please don't be complaining on LinkedIn, because that is the worst place to complain, because there's like 5 degrees of separation, and eventually somebody's going to get to know who you are. And if you have made a reputation for yourself complaining about, I have to take this test and I'm already certified and I shouldn't have to take this, is what we do, guys. And if you were in their shoes as a manager, you would want to make sure that the people that you're hiring are competent to do the work, rather than hire somebody who got pushed through a really fast-paced medical coding program and can't tell you the difference between certain words and medical terminology, and can't appropriately apply modifiers, or they can't appropriately apply procedure codes because maybe they don't understand the difference between facility coding and inpatient coding, you know? And so there's all of those things, you know, there's a lot of things that go to it, those little nuances in this industry, right? So you have to know these things, and they're going to test you, and they're going to make sure that you know, and they're going to make sure that you know what prophy is. You have to know what inpatient coding is. You have to know all of these things and all of these fancy words, because that is what we do. This is our industry. Now, if you don't know some of them, it's okay, but you got to at least know majority of them, or at least know how to find the answers. And a lot of times Google is going to be your friend there. Okay, so that's just something that you ought to know. But guys, you have to really kind of watch your demands. There's a lot of people that want to demand this and demand that, and they want, you know, really good PTO, and they want, you know, the paid time off, and they want all of these things, right? But then what are you bringing to this employer for them to, okay, we've got to give this to you because you're bringing us a lot of quality, okay? Those are things that you have to really think about when you're out there. And it's not just about, oh, they won't hire me because I'm brand new. Every single one of us was brand new at one time, myself included. Now, I went to the temp agency. That's why I always recommend going to the temp agency. And it never fails. It never fails. After the show, I will always get a message from somebody, I can't go to the temp agency. Then don't go, honey. Don't go. Don't go. Don't listen to my advice then. If that's not what you want to do, but I'm here because I care, and I want you all to be set up for success. It doesn't have to be this hard. It doesn't have to be like, oh, they don't want to hire me because I'm brand new. No, it has nothing to do with that. Make sure that when you go and you're presenting yourself, that you are presenting yourself in the best possible light, because that paper, your resume, is going to be your mouthpiece until they see, okay, this resume looks really good. Let me go ahead and call this person in, and let's just see what they've got. And then when you're given that test, and that's another thing too, okay, this person did really good on their test, so we're going to be able to, you know, not have to go through so much training with them, because they really kind of already know what they're doing. And, you know, maybe even though they're still new, they may have questions here and there, but they know how to be self-sustaining and be able to get themselves out there by doing their own research. That's what it takes, guys. That's this is really the answer. There's no gatekeeping here. And there's a lot of people that think, oh, there's gatekeeping, and you know, people are keeping this information. No, I'm telling you all exactly what's going to set you up for success when you're out there looking for these jobs. Okay, so not putting out demands, not only applying for remote positions. Okay. Making sure that you do get out there, put your resume out there, make sure that resume looks good, all right? Get yourself on LinkedIn. I do recommend LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great place for networking, so that's a thing that you should know. But keep this in mind, guys. Keep those complaints off of LinkedIn. I knew my light was going to do that. That's why I was trying to stop my light from turning off. But anyway, guys, y'all can deal with this right here. I want you guys to know, I want y'all to be set up for success. Go to the temp agency, register with them, and see if they can get you anything. If you have to start off with medical billing or prior authorizations or denials, you know, denials management, you know what I mean? Like, you can do those things and still gain those skills that will be transferable to a medical coding career. So again, guys, the opportunities are out there. You just have to open your eyes and start doing your research. Go through my videos. I have the alternative job videos. I have the videos for resume tips for brand new medical coders, and all these other things, and the tips for the interviews. I got a message today from somebody who said, thank you, Blue, for your tips on interviews, because of you, I got the interview and I did really good. And so they got the job. So that's fantastic news. And I was so excited to hear that. But it was because I talked about talking with your providers and how important that is for medical coders. And so whatever it was, it did the trick. I'm just happy that this person watched the videos, listened to my advice, incorporated it into their interview, and they got it. So I've been through interviews before, guys. I've successfully gotten 4 jobs as a medical coder, and 2 of those I had very little experience, but it was because I had that no quit, no fail attitude. I could not fail and I could not quit. And that was what I told myself. And that's what you need to tell yourself as well. Because if you're out there getting discouraged and running around telling folks, oh no, I feel like I did a bad thing and nobody wants to hire me. Guys, look at what you're putting out there. Look at what you're putting out there. Improve it, because I guarantee you, there's probably something in there that you can improve. Get more proactive and get out there and you know, don't feel sorry for yourself, guys, because there's really no point in that. And that's what a lot of people are doing lately. I've been seeing too, is that, you know, they kind of feel sorry for themselves because why can't I get a job? It's a kick in the teeth, yes, in the beginning, guys, to find these jobs. But once you find that first one, that's going to open up the door to the next one and the next one. And keep this in mind too, before I wrap this one up. Your first job may not be for your forever home. What you're going to do is you're going to get that experience from them. And you're going to get it onto your resume, no matter how long or how short. If it's a 3-month, if it's 6 months, it's something to get onto your resume for the next job, okay? So you take those skills that you learned, the electronic medical record and all of these other things, whatever specialty it was, and you get that on your resume. And that's how you start building your resume for the next one. And they can see, okay, this person has experience, even though it wasn't very long. Doesn't matter. It's still experience, guys. It's still experience. I'm just saying. So avoid the internships. Don't work for free. I'm just saying, guys. I would rather you be in an alternative position rather than work something for free. I'm just saying. No part-time work, because that's really reserved for the people who have experience, okay? And don't only concentrate on getting a remote position. While that may be great later on in the future, make sure your first job is going to be around other medical coders so that you can get that experience. No matter how long or how short, let yourself have that experience first before you start working at home. And that's just my advice anyway. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I will see y'all again on Monday. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all again. Bye.